Alright, I'll throw my hands up. I am half an hour later than I'd planned to be. Ugh, I should start accounting for this when I give time frames for stuff and just offset every guess by half an hour, and then I'd be right. Yeah, that, I will take the L on that. I'm also having to wait for silicon and stuff. So for now, it's going to be fairly random bits and pieces that I have on the go that I can also do for a while. So, welcome back to my bedroom floor. Uh, yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be this for a while. Um, so it, yeah, it's the kind of stuff that I'm usually doing not on stream, but I may as well stream it because you know I'd be doing it anyway. Um, so as the title suggests, I have a little dude. Um, this is something that I've been working on for a little while. Um, I've always really liked art dolls, so I decided I would make my own. And he's like a little spooky, horsey type fella, and I made him from scratch, and I quite enjoy him, but he's not finished yet, so I still need to paint his spoopy little mask face, which is potentially familiar to those of you that are also enjoyers of Twilight Princess as a game. It's I took all my favorite bits from the Shadow Beasts and combined them into one mask that I quite like. So that's where that came from. Um, and then he's got little feet. I don't think the detail on the feet is going to come through on camera, but there is detail on them. You can almost see, but there is stuff there. So I need to paint his feet. I need to paint his face, and then I need to build up around various to kind of blend everything back. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for a while. Just messing with this little guy. And also maybe a hat that I've been working on. So there are various. I think I'll start by painting bits on this guy, and then when I'm waiting for things to dry, etc., I will move on and do things with a hat. So I tend to work in a fairly contained area because, force a habit. That was how I got accustomed to stuff growing up, and that's kind of just never really left how I approach things. So I will continue to work in a fairly contained space. I have a bunch of brushes and stuff up here from where I was painting Warhammer minis, which is another thing I want to get back into doing. But we'll see. We'll see what kind of time I end up having. But yeah, this is what I'm doing for now. Is just faffing with this and trying to decide whether black is too black for the base, and I think it is. So I shall just have to mix stuff. We'll see how that goes. I'll just make stuff up as I go along. That is the standard. No different to my usual state of affairs. So yeah, This is gonna be a random one for sure. But as I say, this is what I'm usually doing between streams of various. So now you get a little insight into what else I'm usually up to. It is just faffing with bits and pieces. Seeing what I can do in what time frame. Because that's the biggie. Like, I've established at this point that as far as the limits of what I'm capable of, I suppose, that there's not really a limit. And that's not an arrogance thing. That's just like, I have a real tendency to look at stuff and go, ooh, I like that. I wonder if I could do it. And the answer is yes. Yes, I can. That's just how that is. So, you know. The big thing for me is, cool, okay, so I can do the thing, but how long is it going to take me? That's the kicker. Because it's all very well saying, like, yeah, I'm capable of doing this particular thing. But if it takes me ages, like, how viable is it as a thing? You know? So yeah, I want to be able to move the camera closer, but I've had to use a different stand because my other one is covered in silicone after this morning. So I will not be attempting to move it currently. But yeah, I think you kind of get the gist anyway, as things stand. So you know, it's whatever. I just hope that feet aren't TOS, because I sit like a gremlin, and that's just because I am a gremlin. So you know, I hope that doesn't end up being a problem. I just tuck it under my knee or something, maybe. Maybe I'm deep in it. I don't know. Maybe this isn't actually a problem and I'm just making it weird. It's entirely possible. But there you go. I do really want to try and muck about with this camera. It is annoyingly far away. Can I get it to go any further down? That is the question. Let me see. Is there anywhere else I can stick this back leg? Kind of. Sort of ish. But also not really. Might just have to kind of make it up a bit. Okay, that's slightly better. I think that's slightly better. Maybe. Whether it focuses or not is another matter entirely. I feel like it isn't, but that's fine. I will redirect my light box as well. Not that there's an awful lot to see at the minute anyway. Let me try. Can I tilt you any further down than you? Okay, no, I can. I can. feels slightly better. Right. What's that? Maybe. This all feels like a fairly shoddy setup. Because objectively it is. I just wanted to be able to show something, you know. Something's better than nothing. Even if the something is really not that interesting. This is such a terrible setup. I just want to try and bring it because the light is here. And I can't quite get the camera there. Trying real hard to get some kind of angle on this. I suppose it's better than it was, but it's still not good. But it kind of has to do for now, because I need to use up paint before it dries. That'll be the next problem. So I guess I'm just going to go for it for now. And then I'll deal with stuff in a minute. Because where it wants to be is around there somewhere. So at least then I know roughly where I should be holding things. Because usually I'd be holding this right in close. So I don't need to worry about balancing stuff or supporting anything. But because I'm trying to get it on camera, it's not so easy. So try not to dunk anything in the paint blob. That would be bad. I gotta work reasonably quickly. You know, that thing that I'm not very good at. This was another one of those projects I was like, oh yeah, this will take me like a week. No. No, it won't. I think I'm just gonna start doubling estimations. Just as a baseline. Because there's no way. Once I've painted in the legs, I will try and fix the setup. I think I can bring the light box closer. I think that will help. I debated doing all of this at my desk, and then thought, no, I have to clear too much space. It's easier just to do everything on the floor. Especially if I also end up doing the hat as well. Because that's sat next to me too. And that's another one. It's like, floor, space on the floor. It's just the better way of doing it, to be honest. I need to remember, around 9, I will probably be able to go and put another silicon layer down. I managed to get a quick thickened layer slapped on before I came up to deal with this. Because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take for it to cure to an extent that I could do that. So I'd already moved all my setup stuff up here. And then I went and poked it and thought, for God's sake. So I just got on with it, to be honest. I just did the thing. But yeah, if it's just gone 7 now, then okay, yeah, alright. That should all tie in. So it means I can be here for a couple hours messing about with various. Go deal with that, and then come back to deal with something else. Always something. Well, presumably come back. It depends what else. There are other things I need to do today, as per, so I'll have to see how it goes. The trouble with stuff like this is I'm always like reluctant to let it go, you know? After spending such a long time making something, I always end up like, kinda just want to keep this now. But I need to not be doing that. Because the whole point of things like this is it's like, okay, let me test my limits. Let me see what I'm capable of producing. And if I can do the thing, then great. That becomes saleable. And it's something that I can probably do more of if there's an interest. But at the minute, it's been a lot of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if anything sticks. So I've been making various bits and pieces and then just see what kind of interest there is for stuff. So this is one of them. This was a lot of fun to make, to be fair. I really, really enjoyed messing around with this guy. And I fully expect to make another one. That is similar, but not the same. So that's the whole point. I don't want to make any that are the same. Which is why I want to keep this one, because I like this one. But I need to be sensible. I think I'll finish him, and then I'll see whether I can handle letting him go. So I probably won't. So I'll just start making another one, I guess. He's the first one. And I made him based on stuff that I like. Then it's the same with the hat. Like, the hat that I'm making it's like, oh, but it's a hat that I like. Yes. That's why you're making it. I'll also use this shade for weathering purposes. Because that's another thing. Like, I find that weathering stuff just makes it look a million times better. So that was always on my to-do list. I'm going to lean forward for the camera. It's doing my back end. I will fix the way that all of this is set up soon. Even if I just have the camera sat on top of something. Just needs to be in closer than it is. It's annoying. I also need to be able to see what I'm doing. But I can't when it's far away. Which at the minute kind of is. Can I bring this any closer? It is not really, but I'll try. Okay, well that does that. Lens get out of the way. And can I bring the light box any further down? Not like that. Really like that. That might have to do for now. And then I will literally just work from under the easel that I've got the camera attached to. Cool. Well, here's what it is. Really is just what it is. Not particularly exciting stuff at the minute, anyway. Initial really rough layer of stuff. You know, the one that looks pretty terrible. It's just that. Well, now you're too close. So. There's no winning here, I don't think. I'll keep trying though. As I say, this would be a million times easier with my other stand, but I'm not risking dragging silicon through my bedroom rug. I'm going to give that a miss, to be honest. I think the trouble is it's just all very dark. I don't have any other lights that I can bring in. So it'll just have to be what it is for now, to be honest. Is what it is. All I can really say for it. Probably refuse to focus the whole time as well. extra little annoying, an additional factor. Whatevs. All pretty ad hoc. Hey ho. At least I'm doing the thing. Better to have a thing and for it to not be perfect than to have no thing at all. I have to keep reminding myself that that is an irrefutable truth. Order more Milliput as well, I forgot. Of course I did. Really like this colour for weather. Nice colour. Quite a lot of nonsense has gone into this thing. A lot of fun. In one of those projects, it's been good to have like a podcast or something on in the background for. In my case, I was enjoying a lot of Let's Plays. The majority of this. feel a lot better about it once the base coat's on. Fairness to it, even just the second pass, it just immediately fixes pretty much everything. Still hard to see on cam, to be honest. And I'm not particularly surprised. It's definitely not a particularly good setup. And I 100% take the L on that one. Wanted to be able to get something out there. Whole thing looks a lot nicer with the weathered aspect to it. Because the legs are going to be a different color in the end, eventually. That's just the base color. I just give up on trying to have this any kind of vaguely close. Maybe. Otherwise, you just end up seeing nothing. Maybe I just go with that instead. egregious blank spot. Beyond that, I'm not super. Every time I'm about to run out of paint, go over and weather onto the edges of the layers. Just stuff more. The minute it's too pristine. Jarring. Once it's less pristine, it looks more like it's meant to be. That's something I found with cosplay years back. Like, you can make it out of materials that are nice to work with, but it'll look too neat, and then it just looks like a costume. So I always lean into authenticity. Why my tunic fabric for the deity is linen. Because that seems like a feasible and a realistic choice. Seems accurate, no? And then I'm still gonna weather it to oblivion as well. The material choices matter. And we'll be keeping an eye on the time though. It's going to be important to get as much of that silicone done as I can today. Heat waves and such. They're going to dictate what I can get done. I don't enjoy that very much. I will try and speed run as much as I can today. Dribs and drabs here and there, as often as I can. And see what happens. as I'm kind of jumping between various, I'm able to get something. Main thing. Already looks a lot better than it was. But I've still got various oh, who's message? Where's my phone? Just gonna say who's awake at this time, but it's actually getting on for 8. Kind of not that big of a deal. So used to it being like 4 in the morning. Just thinking, good God, who else is awake right now? This is probably going to end up being something of like a body doubling stream. where I'm just kind of casually cracking on with bits, probably not saying a whole lot. Something nice and chill. Because sometimes you need that, especially if you've just got up. All you really want is something mellow. I think this is probably going to be that. Yes. I reckon that's where this is going. I am going to have to check my phone because it's been buzzing a lot. If it's WhatsApp, it's probably just my old work chat, so I can ignore it. If it's something else, it might be some kind of important. So I should probably check it. Where is it? Oh, it's behind me. Okay. Check real quick. Oh, okay. It's just mostly my old work chat. That's whatever. As expected. Matters not to me. Still part of that chat because I like to see what happens. Now that it doesn't, pertain to me particularly. It's kind of nice to sit back and sip the imaginary tea, as it were. Just kind of read all the messages and think, good, that's not my problem anymore. I don't have to deal with that. Hope none of the background noise comes through. I think the noise gate's pretty effective, but there's quite a lot of it. Keep having to hold this up to my face so I can actually see what I'm doing. So, I apologise for the things being out of frame. I genuinely can't see. So, gotta sort of deal with that. Got much better brushes for weathering. Mostly just so I can use up the last of the paint that's in my brush. Somewhere useful. I'll definitely be using different brushes for the rest of it. Since I'm okay enough. State of the legs. I nearly am. me look at my other brushes. It's the best one to use, really. A lot quicker. Awful lot quicker. Hello, bot. Excellent. Reminds me of the other thing I forgot. Figuring out how to remove those on laptop. Get around to it eventually. Hey, welcome back. What am I making this time? This is a random one. So, this is something. It's one of those things I've wanted to make for a while. But, like, I never got around to it, I suppose. But this is, I don't know how easy it is to see, because my frame of view is really lame. But this is a little art doll that I've been working on. Like a little spooky horsey dude. And yeah, I've been working on him for a while. Spooky, and I like him. And that's kind of that. Bored of what? Make art dolls? Like I okay, so yes, but this is my first one. So I guess I can. It was one of those like I just wanted to see whether I was able to do it. And turns out the answer is yes. Amazing, thank you. I make lots of things. And at the minute it's been one of those like just testing to see what I can do. And I guess I can add this to the list. And it was one of those, I thought I'd try it, and if it was any good, then I'd open myself up to taking commissions for stuff. Just to see if people liked it. I tend to find that with cosplay, there are a lot of skills that you can use in other areas. And I just thought that I would try something new. And it ended up working quite well. It's hard to see with the camera set up the way it is at the minute. So you'll just have to take my word for it. I'm thinking about it for a long time. Very small room, it might not fit. What, thinking about like making stuff, or see, just fine. Oh, that's good. Because making stuff, you can do that in any room, any size. I've been working from a bedroom for years. Not that I'd recommend it necessarily, but it's doable. Art dolls, yeah. Yeah, I've wanted to have my own art doll or art dolls for ages. But the big thing for me was always money. Like I didn't want to spend the amount of money that a lot of people were asking for. And I think that's the trouble with things like this, is it's like for the amount of time and effort it takes, like yes, they should cost a lot of money. They absolutely should. I just never was willing, I couldn't justify that to myself, you know. About about 7 to 8 big things I work on with pets. Ah, okay. Yeah, that is definitely an added complication. Money's tough when it comes to art, massively. It totally, totally is. But that's why I started making stuff myself. In a lot of cases. Like, I still will pick up bits and pieces from various artists or small businesses that I like. But for the most part, it's a case of if I can make stuff, then I will. It just ends up cheaper that way. But you do sacrifice time. So it's important to weigh up what matters more. Do you have more time free or more money free? For a long time, really, I had more money than I did time. Now that's, whole point of what I'm doing is to have the time to make money. So it's a bit of a weird situation to be in at the minute. But it does just depend what you have more of. But each to their own. Everyone's got their things. It's always a balancing act. Got to weigh things up. Make sensible choices. But I do think that art is important. Art and creativity. A big part of the human experience. It's become even more important with the development of things like AI, which is a bit of a grey area. I think when you live in a more creative sphere, you tend to only hear the bad thing. I don't think it has to all be bad, but I do think it puts an emphasis on human input and how important it is. So actually, as much as AI is being heralded as the end of all creation as far as like making stuff yourself, actually I think it's really helped shine a light on things that are handmade and designed by a person, a real person. People are more interested in supporting those kinds of businesses now than they were before AI became a big thing. So I don't think it's all bad. And it's not just used in creative industries. No, it's used in scientific fields, help speed run cures for diseases and stuff like that. That's a very good cause. Obviously, I don't agree with any of like the whole art theft and feeding an algorithm side of things. Obviously, that's not that's not okay. But as far as the general tone, actually, I think it's been quite helpful in putting forward a lot of artists and highlighting the stuff that they create. I don't think it's all bad. I think it could certainly be used for good. We'll see, I suppose. See how things play out. A couple of loose threads on here that I need to cut. Where are they? One along here. Up along. You get stuff. Phone is glitching really bad. Be right back. Yeah, no worries. No worries. laptop? Wahey. Excellent. Hopefully that'll work out better. I swear I keep trying to do stuff in frame, but it's difficult. You can kind of see what I'm up to, ish. Poor phone's like 4 years old, needs to be put to rest. Yeesh. It's scary how that's such a real thing with technology. It'll only last you a few years, and then that's it. No good to anyone. Nothing's built to last. I can hear commotion downstairs, and I don't think it's anything important. That's the only trouble with being in the house. At least in the garage, for the most part. I can say, look, I'm in here. Let's just, not have any chaos. But if I'm in the house, then I can kind of hear other stuff. Like, that's probably okay. Probably not something I need to worry about. Eating and sleeping enough? Yeah. Yeah. I've been having a bit of an interesting time of things recently. Trying to find the right sort of rhythm, the right sort of patterns. I've been trying to figure out whether I need to sleep more or less, and just, I was experimenting a lot at them, which has not been particularly good fun. But it's also kind of been sort of necessary, so I get it. I understand that there is a need for it. It's just not been fun. So I think I'm good. Is the face inspired by Zelda? Yes. Yes, it is. I didn't directly take any of the design stuff. It was more like I took little bits and pieces and then combined it into one thing. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what they are. So it's inspired very heavily by a couple of different kinds of Twilight Beast. And yeah, technically it's not a thing that exists, but it also basically is. So, you know, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't pretty heavily inspired. Looks great, thank you. Shockingly, Twilight Princess is one of my favorite games of all time. So, you know, in case that much wasn't obvious by now. Mine too, love the music. Yes, the music is amazing. Zelda music is always amazing. I really want to go and see it live one day. Been on my to-do list for a long time. I'll get around to it eventually. I think I'm gonna fill in a few spots on the legs, and then after that I'm gonna leave it to dry for a bit and work on something else. You draw? Yes. Yes, I do. Not as much as I used to, but not nearly as much as I used to. But I can. I've really enjoyed in the past drawing specifically in pen, like ballpoint pen. I don't know why. I just really like it. I think I've got a drawing that I started a while ago, thinking about in here somewhere. Pretty sure. Let me put this guy somewhere safe for a second. You like traditional physical mediums? Yeah. Oh no, I much prefer. I started trying to draw digitally. I don't enjoy it at all. I'm sure, like, if I'd stuck with it, I'd get better, but it really just isn't fun for me. Me, let me go through this drawer. I'm pretty sure I've got a drawing in here that I started. while ago. Does he have a name? I'm still trying to think of a name for him. I want to give him some kind of cool title, but then there's also like the intrusive thought that wants me to just call him Boris or Steve. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I end up going with. Is this? Yeah. Okay. So here's a drawing that I very nearly finished, but I lost interest just toward the end, and I never did a background. But this is a drawing that I've done in the past. I don't know how well it comes across on camera. Potentially not very, but you can kind of see. Actually, if I do that, then it's upright on stream, I think. Come on, be in frame, please. Kind of. I'm a big Iron Maiden fan. So I wanted to do something Iron Maiden. And yeah, that's all in ballpoint pen. Because I find it fun. So yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I thank you. It's one of those things. Like I love drawing, but it always takes me such a long time. Just kind of, I don't really get around to it much these days. It used to be one of those things I could just sit and do for hours, but now it's like, yeah, I've got other things that I should be doing, so I'll do those instead. You know. Could make prints, I'd get one. Huh. Maybe I should. Maybe I should finish this and yeah, prints. That's actually a pretty decent idea. That is a pretty good idea. Really, that's amazing. Thank you. I guess I'm just so used to it. I don't really think about it much. But you're right. I definitely should just finish this tiny little bit that isn't finished, and then make it a print. That is a decent idea. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, yeah, actually, I probably should do something with this. It's been sat in this drawer for ages. I've just not done anything with it. But that's a good idea. I'll have to add that to my list of things that I need to do. Oh god, the list. It never ends. Skill, it's so cool, my goodness. Thank you. I know, I'm just suppose it's like a lot of stuff that I do. I kind of just get used to it, so I don't really think about it much. I'm stoked that you like it. Prints are actually a very good idea. I should look into that. While I'm waiting for the paint to dry, I'm going to work on another thing that I have sat here. Because I like to juggle various tasks. So drawing is hard. Like, drawing it's one of those things that, like, people underestimate how difficult it is to draw stuff. And drawing with a reference is obscenely helpful. So I find my best stuff is always like if I have something in front of me that's extremely detailed, like yeah, I can draw that. I'm not so good with like I suppose like the more like the kind of cutesy anime stuff that's all very sort of it's two-dimensional, but it's also fairly blank. Like I'm bad at that. I'm not. I'm like the heavy detail, lots of lines. I'm good at that. You want to make some prints, but you don't think it'll sell? Yeah. Here's the hat. Here is the hat. Well, I think it's worth trying stuff. You never know. Yes, here's the hat I've been working on. So it's I need to bring this up without wrecking everything. But this is the hat I've been working on. Uh, It's like a musketeer's hat, so it's pinned up at one side, and then I've got some fancy bits that I've just got to sew on it, and then it's done. Yeah, it was originally just a plain black hat that I got for £3 from a charity shop, and then I put a lining on the inside, and then stitched in a new hat band in, and then stitched fancy braid around the border. And now I'm going to put some extra fancy bits on there, and then it's done. And I will have made a hat. This is what I mean by like the art doll and stuff like that. It's like I keep looking at stuff and going, yeah, I could probably make that. And then I do. It's all very random. Looks so fancy, love the red detailing. Yeah. Sewing that in was a nightmare. I knew it was gonna suck, but it really sucked. But I'm glad I did it. It looks cool. But it took me an afternoon to get it right. But before I sew in the other fancy bits, I need to iron some stuff. So I need to go find where the iron is. Thanks. Plan is, so that's the front, basically. So plan is on this side, fancy side, there will be this and this. But before I stitch in this, I need to iron it because pleats are a thing. So once it's done, it'll be really cool, and I will definitely wear it to take pictures. So, but I need to iron this frilly thing first because it's been sat in a drawer for a long time. And I need to make it nice. So I'm going to try and find where the iron is. I think... No. What cupboard it's in. Right, I've found the iron. So, little space-saving trick that I learned from my nan. If you don't have the space for an ironing board, just stick a towel down and iron on top of that. I've done it so many times for t-shirts that I'd forgotten to iron and like needed to wear immediately. Stuff like that. What kind of feather is that? I don't know. See, the thing with this hat is I made everything from stuff that I just found. So it's stuff that I already had lying around the house. And then thought, oh yeah, that would work. That's all it is. I've got to try and think about how these pleats are meant to go. Let's see what it wants to be. Yeah. I'm not looking to be super precious about this. I mostly just want it to be nicer. At the minute, it's kind of a little scrunched up. And I want it to be less scrunched up. That looks nicer. One underneath. See how this wants to sit. Once this is finished, really, I can pick it up for sale online. I'm debating whether I end up wearing it to a another sort of LARP type event first, get some good pictures, and then list it. That's mostly because I can't be bothered to do makeup for no reason. like if I'm not going out somewhere. But maybe I just, suck it up, do the makeup, take the pictures, be done with it. Otherwise, I might end up with it sat around forever. We'll see. That's also better. And just this last one. Quite a few pleats in this. Interesting. Got hired to do a photo shoot. Yo! Awesome. That's extremely cool. What's the shoot for? Is it like a modeling thing or like an art thing? Family photos for cards? Hey, look, it doesn't matter if it's fancy or not. It's a thing in your field of interest. So it's a big deal. That is absolutely huge. Make this work. Went to a nice garden. I was so nervous I forgot how the camera worked. Oh no, that sucks. Oh man. Hey, you still managed it though. So can't have been that bad. I think the pictures came out better than I thought they would. Good. Well, it must have been good if you ended up being hired for stuff. So, no. Take it for what it is. That is an absolute win. 110%. That's better. Nice. I just got to figure out the smartest way of getting that stay in there. I think I know what I'll do. Where have all of my threads gone? So is this job like a full-time thing, part-time thing? I'm guessing you work from, well, you will be working from like a studio or whatever. How is it deceptively hard? Oh yeah, no, I've got I got friends with cameras and they try to explain stuff to me and I just have no idea. Yeah, they genuinely do. Like nothing but respect for photographers and people who contend with that sorcery. Because I don't know. I really don't. Side thing, still learning, have a part-time job, full-time school, so it's a lot to keep up with. Fair enough, yeah. It's an awful lot to keep up with. Props for doing it all. And it's in your field of interest. So it's all experience, which is absolutely massive. It's impressive to be able to have that much stuff going on as well. That's the other thing. If you're managing to keep up with all that. You got two birds, which are basically tiny dragons that want all the seeds, and so they shall get all of the seeds, as is their right. No, they'll get too fat. I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is that the bird overlords have demanded seeds. I don't believe you. Yeah, exactly. I don't see a problem here. I have to get some pliers on this needle because I feel like I am. Get some tissue for my thumb because I definitely stabbed myself. Oh well. I do have a solution for that. Wherever I ended up putting it. I can use this. Good enough. Where are my pliers? There they are. For when needles get too stuck. Losing my mind trying to keep up with it all as it is. Doing school now. No one said adulting as a kid, cosplaying as an adult. That is the realist shit. It's exactly what that is. Like every older person I've ever spoken to has said that exact thing. As you can tell, spelling's not that good, so that's just great. I'm managing to get what you're going for, so it's fine. It's no biggie. But that is exactly what that is. It's I hate to break it to you, but it doesn't get any easier. Like realistically, I don't want to say like it gets harder. It's more that you kind of come to realize that the people that you would trust to make good, measured adult decisions are also cosplaying as adults. So no one actually knows much more than you do ever. And it's a little bit terrifying. But it also means that you're all on kind of an equal playing field. Nah, be honest, it is bad. Especially with a job that I have to send emails to people. But look, sending emails is better than making phone calls. And making phone calls is better than having to have meetings in person with people that are older than you and still not any wiser and get paid more than you. That's always the kicker. So, you know, I would I'd say there are a couple of ways you can look at it. The way I look at it is okay, yes, it's terrifying that this person who's supposed to be superior to me is definitely not. But that also means that there's not that much to beat. So the way I look at it is if you're good at a thing, you don't have to be that much better than the average person to come across as being very good at the thing. And if you are into like arty fields, photography, right? You don't need to know that much more than the average person to do very well. So pursue these things because you're in with more of a chance than you think you are. A lot of people are just faking it. Fake it till you make it is a real thing. And it's scary how real it is. But use it to your advantage. You can go a lot further than you think you can. English is a bunch of drunk monkeys. You're not you're not half wrong. I do have an A level in English language, and I can confirm a lot of it is actual nonsense. I won't try and pretend that it isn't. I'm doomed. We're all doomed. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think there's a lot of comfort in knowing that everyone's lying. it's it's all fake. None of it's real. Because it just means that you can lie too. You know the old phrase, if you can't beat them, join them. That's all it is. You will never beat them. So just start joining them. Really. Just be at peace with being doomed. That's the best advice I can give. Go with the chaos. Pursue your own interests. Do what makes you happy. And whatever else happens, happens. It is what it is. Yeah, I can see that, but when is enough enough? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Never. Never is. But, okay, it's a tricky one. Because it depends on what you want, right? So, for me, what I value most is progress. I value getting better at stuff or achieving things in a day. It doesn't matter what it is. As long as I have progressed in some way, then that, for me, is enough. That's been the healthiest way I've managed to get around it. Because, generally speaking, enough will never be enough. That's a fact of life. There will always be something better or someone smarter. So you kind of just have to draw a line in the sand and go, all right, well, I'm not interested in that. You kind of have to condition yourself to value the things that you in yourself can control. Because you can't control other people. You will try. I have tried. Everyone on the planet has and will try. But you can't. So you need to find something to value that you can control yourself. And then you will find that enough can be enough. But only then. The whole time you're basing it on anyone else or anything else, it will not happen. Because it can't happen. Because you can't control that. So focus on the things that you can control. You'll have a much easier time. Now, how do I want to set this feather? Do I want it to be the side or up? I think I want it to be up. Up slightly, but not a whole bunch. I shall make it up then, I suppose. What's new? But yeah, that's my advice. They always say never compare yourself to other people, but you will. You have to learn not to. or at least learn to value things that don't involve other people. Is my there it is. I suppose a lot of it depends on your outlook. I've always historically had a pretty pessimistic outlook. So I've kind of taught myself to take that and spin it into a positive. Like, yes, we're all doomed. The world is in chaos, and there's nothing we can do about it. But also, there are things that we can control, and we should control. And a lot of life is what you make of it. So, you know, take that for what it is. That's the thing. And you'll come around to that and ways around that. But recognizing how you're seeing stuff isn't particularly accurate, it's helpful. Like, yeah, okay, you do get the whole, like, my life is a lie and my eyes only see lies. Yeah, to a point, but that's looking great. Thanks. Don't worry about it. I know, I enjoy these kinds of conversations anyway. So these are just the kinds of conversations that I have with myself anyway. So I wouldn't worry too much. My point was going to be that, yeah, okay, it seems a little bleak. With dyslexia, I don't see things right. Eh, one way of looking at it, I guess. But the thing I'd say is that there's a lot of good in recognizing that your own viewpoint is flawed. Because everyone's got a bias. You know, everyone sees things in a certain way for various reasons. But recognizing that the way you're seeing something is because of a bias or, you know, just just acknowledging that, like, the way you perceive something is just your perception. There's a lot of good in that. And it's super helpful. Because you can use it to remind yourself when you're looking at stuff and you're feeling down about it and thinking, oh, you know, I'll never manage whatever, or I'll never be good enough for this thing. It can help remind you, like, okay, well, That's just your bias at the time. That doesn't have to be your reality. Your life can still be what you choose to make it. Especially for someone in your situation. Like, you've still got so much of your life. Yeah. I'm saying that like I don't. I intend to have the same. There's a lot to be said for unknowns. Like, okay, yes, terrifying, but also possibilities. So many possibilities. So many options. So many directions. All these different paths. Who knows what you'll end up doing? Who knows where you'll end up being? Who knows who you'll end up meeting? It's exciting. Terrifying, yes. But it's exciting. Of course, it's good to have a healthy amount of skepticism. You know, you're not bulletproof, fair enough. But there's no point in assuming you can't do stuff this early on. I'll be in a box under a bridge with my rats. There you go. High ambitions. That's what I'm talking about. Rats are cool. Rats are cool. Rats are definitely cool. I think my point is you can feel the way you feel and think the things you think, but your reality is a lot more malleable than you think it is. You've got a lot more control over your life than you might realize you do. You know, do with that information what you will. Thanks. No worries. As somebody who is a recovering pessimist, I like to think I'm reasonably well versed in this kind of thing. Been there, done that. You get the picture. I think it's good to be sensible and to have realistic expectations. But I would be cautious against allowing that to become stopping you pursuing the things that you like and assuming that other people know better. They absolutely don't. Everyone is just cosplaying the whole time. So take advantage of it. You put in the effort, you'll get the results. Guarantee. You only have to be slightly better than average. And, obviously keep me updated on how all of this goes. I don't doubt you. Keep going, but I'm just tired of things falling flat so often. Oh yeah. Now it'll absolutely eat away at you. Every single time. And it's always those that you remember. 'Cause they're the ones that hurt. And that's how humans are. We remember the things that hurt. How many times have you done stuff that's worked well? Do you remember all of those? Or do you only remember the things that have gone badly? There are good things and there are bad things. I suppose it's just been a week. Yeah. And you'll get that. Good, bad, rough, smooth. It all comes and goes. Just don't lose sight of the potential. So at the end of the day, it's your life. And you're the only person that can make it what it ends up being. No pressure. you have animals? I do not. I do not. Used to. But it was like family pets rather than having any of my own or whatever. But these days, unfortunately, I do not. Be about to put one down? Yes. Yes. The last family pet was a dog, a cross between a Sheltie and a Border Collie. She was great. Sorry, that's fine. It's been years at this point, but I grew up with her, and it's one of those. It's never easy, but it was particularly hard because she lived until she was 17, which is insane. Um, also means that, she was growing up with me for 17 years. Out of 28, that's a lot of years. Yeah. She did extremely well. But yes, we did have to put her down in the end. Because she was just too old. Every step she took looked like it hurt, and it just wasn't fair to keep her going anymore. So she was great. Is this something that you're currently having to deal with, or thinking you might have to deal with? It's always pretty rough. And had chicks and maggots got to it. Oh, jeez. That is awful. Yeah, no, that's definitely the right choice. Back when back when I used to live with my parents, we had chickens, and one morning my dad had gone out and found that a fox had managed to get in, and one of the hens was just not. It was horrendous. So yeah, he very much then and there had to put it out of its misery. God, what a cheerful morning we've had. Yeah, it's rough. It's definitely rough. But it's, it's the right call. And at least it's over and done with, I think I'm reasonably cool with that, actually. And it's getting on for 10, which is almost an hour later than I said I'd be, so that's funny. That's fairly typical of me, to be honest. Can't say I'm that surprised. But I wanted to get the hat done, so that's something. Sorry, don't worry about it, it's fine. Shit happens, Hat looks great, thanks. I'm gonna quickly stick it on and see if it looks how I wanted it to. I'd say yeah, to be honest. I think it does. Doesn't quite go with the vest that I'm wearing, but the thought that counts. I'm wondering if I should try and angle the cam so that I can show what it looks like on, but I'm just looking around my room like, is there anything that I need to not have on camera? Because I don't know what I've currently got kicking about, but I think it's fine. So, just before I end the stream, I may as well quickly show off the hat. I can stick it on. I've got a head. I've got a head for hats. Let me take the hat that's currently sat on the head off. Put this one on and try and get a better view from cam. It'll stay up, which it won't. Come on. Yeah, this was not a setup that I had thought through a whole bunch. Shocker. This was one of those very sort of last minute, I should probably try to do something sort of things. Okay, that stays up there. Then I should be able to don't worry. Craft streams bring out different aspects of people. So it is what it is. You kind of get the gist, I think. I might just have to hold it. I don't think there's going to be an easy way of doing this, but I have a hat. Yay. I promise it's a fancy hat, but it's kind of hard to angle because of the way the camera's pointing, but there's definitely a hat here. Yay. Definitely fairly fancy. Works kind of well, but just trust me when I say it looks good on, because I really can't show it much clearer than this. So I apologize. That is really weak, but oh well. See it well? Good. Okay, that's the main thing. You get the idea. Yeah, I have a hat. Well, hey. I can actually cross that off my list. That's nice. Now I need to go and look at doing another layer of silicone out in the garage, and then seeing what other stuff I need to do this morning. So, looks great, good job, thank you. Right, on that note, I am gonna have to duck out, do some other stuff. It's probably late where you are anyway, so, you know, that probably checks out. But thanks for hanging around. Don't worry about the subject matter. I don't mind talking about whatever. 1:45. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. I would say, you go to bed. I'm gonna go do other stuff. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. And I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing tomorrow morning. So we'll see. It was nice talking. Yeah, I think so. Even if it, was a little bit dark in places, I don't mind. I'll talk about whatever. Doesn't bother me. So, cool. Right. I'm gonna go sort some stuff out. You go to sleep. And, yeah. I will have a good one. You have a good sleep and various. And I'll catch you in a bit. So, yeah.